Here now, Matt Whitaker, former Trump acting attorney general, and Mike Davis, president of the Article 3 Project and former clerk for Justice Neil Gorsuch. Matt, let's start with you. Now, Garland said that Trump's announcement and Biden's, professed likely run in 2024 were factors in his decision to name a special counsel. Was that required by Trump's announcement on Tuesday, or somehow triggered this decision justifiably?
I don't think so, Laura. It's good to be with you tonight. I think, here we go again. I mean, this is the left's favorite tool, is to appoint a special counsel and then let the media breathlessly report on every twist and turn of a special counsel, giving it some imprimatur of, even super legitimacy. Like Merrick Garland misstated a very important fact, and that is that this special counsel is not independent from the Department of Justice. This special counsel is going to not only use all the resources of the Department of Justice and the FBI, but also report directly to Merrick Garland. So really, this is a way for Merrick Garland to solely control the fate of Donald Trump's legal cases, and I think it is probably the most partisan move he's made to date.
Well, Mike, when asked about the news today, a White House official told Fox that the DOJ makes decisions about its criminal investigations independently, and we are not involved. But, Mike, we remember that story that leaked to the media this past spring where Biden was quoted by sources as having said inside the White House that he was frustrated with Garland, that Garland was acting more like a judge than a prosecutor, and somehow that made its way into the newspapers, and suddenly we're not supposed to believe that that has any impact on Garland? Now that Biden is himself independent here?
And Biden just made another public comment about this several days ago. Also, remember, it was the Biden White House that waived President Trump's claim of executive privilege that paved the way for this Mar-a-Lago raid. And we need to step back and remember a couple things. This special counsel is going to investigate the non-crimes of objecting to the presidential election. If it were a crime, the Democrats would have been charged in for 1969, 2001, 2005, 2017, when they objected to the election. It's also they're investigating the non-crime of a former president taking a personal copy of his presidential records when he leaves office. He is specifically allowed to do that under the Presidential Records Act. And where the heck is the special counsel to investigate President Biden, his son Hunter, and his brother James when there is clear smoking gun evidence of foreign corruption in China and the Ukraine?
Matt, it's just really, I think, a huge mistake for the Biden Justice Department. This is going to be seen as political, I'm sorry, and it's going to be seen as an attempt to get a political adversary off the field before 2024, whether they think Trump is wounded or not previous to this announcement. At least half the country is going to not believe the outcome here, whatever the outcome ultimately is. Do you agree that this is politically and legally a mistake for this Justice Department?
I do, and I agree with Mike that these are legally specious cases to start with. And, if you think about why the special counsel rule is there, it's a Department of Justice regulation. It's because the independent counsel statute expired and the Department of Justice didn't want more regulation of how it conducted its business. And so, we end up in this moment where it is now used as a weapon to hurt and weaken political opponents. But I just don't think that the American people can stand for this two-tier system of justice, because if you read the special counsel regulation, the Hunter Biden case is a lot more on point for appointing a special counsel than the Donald Trump case, because there are clear conflicts within the Department of Justice as it relates to investigating the family of your boss and the person that politically appointed you to those roles.
Now, Mike, I want to play another moment from Garland's announcement this afternoon. Watch.
All of the career prosecutors assigned to these matters are conducting their work in the best traditions of the Department of Justice. I also want to recognize the efforts of the many FBI agents and other law enforcement personnel who are assigned to these matters. They are working courageously and steadfastly and are serving our nation honorably.
Mike, given what we've learned about some of these prosecutors and agents going back to the Mueller investigation, frankly, even before that, will anyone believe this? I mean, it sounds like it was the Academy Awards. The only person he didn't thank was his agent and his manager there. Anyone can believe this stuff?
Remember, Laura, one of the attorneys on the pleadings on this case was a former Democrat staffer in the Senate. And so obviously that prosecutor has a political bias, and she is a prosecutor named on the pleadings. This is the same Justice Department that went to a biased magistrate judge, Bruce Reinhart, who had just recused from President Trump's civil lawsuit against Hillary Clinton 6 weeks prior because of that magistrate judge's clear bias based upon his Facebook post. And they went back to this judge 6 weeks later and got this unprecedented, unnecessary, unlawful home raid on a former president to go get records back to which they were not entitled, because the president has the absolute right to these records under the Presidential Records Act. This has stunk from day one, and it's been politicized and weaponized against President Trump since day one.
And we all have to remember that the special counsel's office, essentially, with very few limitations, has an unlimited budget. Correct, Mike? I mean, very quickly, that they can spend tens of millions of dollars on this, and just like they did last time with Mueller.
Just like the Mueller probe, maybe they can hire Andrew Weissman again, the partisan hack, to be the top lawyer on the probe for this probe. I mean, Garland said that this special counsel is essentially going to have an unlimited budget. I would say to President Biden, if you want to ensure President Trump gets back into the White House, indict him.
I think House Republicans should say, we're not funding this investigation. We're not going to be part of this. We're not going to turn our country upside down for this specious investigation. That's what they should do. But Matt and Mike, great to see you both tonight. Thank you.